What up, loved ones? What it do? Spotty Young right here. You know where I'm from. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're into real shit only, watch this video. So every weekend we're training martial arts right here at the park. And if I could, I'll train every day. You know what I mean? But right now, this is all I can afford every weekend to train martial arts. But this is just not any regular martial arts. I'm talking about Filipino martial arts. And I'm training with Master Boy Garcia. Master Ismael Boy Garcia is a world champion. He's not an ordinary martial artist. He's literally undefeated with over 185 professional fights. You know what I mean? So this is the difference between top G and just like regular fucking people and shit. So I'm gonna show exactly why. You know what I mean? Why being a top G is important, especially nowadays. To those who don't know, they're trying to feminize all men into they're trying to tie up that doing push-ups and being a man and being violent, being capable of being violent is like a bad negative thing, but actually in reality being extremely violent under control is the only people or only men that are capable of being good and virtuous, because as I always say, I'm promoting masculinity. Being weak and harmless and fat and lazy is that's not good. That's just being a fat lazy, you know what I mean, person. So here in the channel we're gonna show that this is what actually good is, and I'm gonna teach you guys a little certain basic moves, Filipino martial arts, to those that want to learn, and we're gonna explain exactly why our mindset is not no ordinary mindset. So if you feel like this is the righteous channel, this is the righteous thing to do, then you're on the right channel. But if you are like kind of like a pussy or sensitive person, then perhaps you might want to watch something else, because all top G shit is all we're gonna be talking about in this channel right here. So stay tuned. Anywho, yeah, you guys are just gonna have to judge for yourself, man. You know what I mean? Just imagine the mindset that I used to have as a young dumb kid back in the days, gang banging and shit. Yeah, man, everything is about instant gratification. It's human nature that you want shortcut, everything instant gratification in life. But those are for women and for children, bro. If you really want to be a man, then there's no other option but to go hard on the paint. You have to embrace pain and suffering and delayed gratification. So what I mean by instant gratification, as a kid like me, 13 years old, joining in Jeff Rock's gang in West LA, you know what I mean? My mindset was, I don't know if y'all can relate, man, judge for yourself. My mindset is like, look, man, I'm not trying to do no push-ups, you know what I mean? Although I want to be a tough, hard man, buff and muscular, like everybody's boy's dream one day, like Bruce Lee and shit. I just, you know what I mean? It's just too hard. It's just too painful. And I used to think that pain was a negative thing because we were psyoped that way by the Matrix. We were programmed that way. And in reality, like I said, there's no other option. I didn't want to do my push-ups, but I still wanted to be a man. So what do? I pick up a fucking gun and shit, man. That makes me hard, makes me gangster in my head. You know what I mean? And then I wanted to have friends because I didn't want to be myself and get beat up by other gangsters or other gang members that get bullied. I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to fucking lose. So what do? I join a fucking gang, make sure I'm on top of the food chain, and everybody's scared of us. Everybody running away from us. You know what I mean? So because of this fucking dumbass instant gratification, you know what I mean? Thinking that I'm, a gender equality and all that, thinking I could be a woman too. Like, nah, man. You know, I ended up being an emotional kid. If I wanted to blast people, I'll blast people. Doesn't matter. I don't care about the consequences. If I wanted to hurt people, I'll hurt anybody. It doesn't matter. I didn't care about the future, bro. I didn't care about responsibilities, accountability. I wasn't thinking about none of that as a dumb fucking kid. You know what I mean? So that's all I did. I was just an emotional. I had a fragile ego. Fragile ego meaning like super sensitive. If you like talk shit to me, I'll get all gay and emotional about it. And men are not supposed to be like that, bro. You know, I don't know if your parents or your father told you that, but in reality, men are supposed to be stoic, not easily triggered like a retard, bro. You know what I mean? So anyway, I learned the hard way. I had a mean ass reality check. Like I said, to those who don't know, caught a fucking 14-year sentence in the worst prison in the world. You know what I mean? Until fast forward to the future, like right now, I'm trying to teach martial arts and self-discipline, having control in your emotions, so you don't go shooting up a school or committing crimes, raping little kids, or being a just an evil person. You have that control to choose whatever you want to be, and you need that as a man. So I got lucky by meeting Master Ismael Boy Garcia, because this guy is one of the most humble person in the world, which I don't get, because me, I'm gonna talk my shit, but he's just so fucking humble with the skills and ability that he has fighting, being a undefeated world champion. You wouldn't even know. That's not even half the story, So yeah, man. There's two kinds of martial artists. To those that are still on their journey of learning self-defense and learning how to be a real man. Two kinds of martial artists or masters. So you got your little jiu-jitsu grappler that will teach you that you must first learn how to jiu-jitsu or wrestle or grappling first, and then once you master that, then you can learn a little bit of striking to help you out. But that's not my master. My master is, you must first master and learn the art of striking first. Then once you master that, then you can enhance your self-defense skills with jiu-jitsu or grappling and wrestling. So there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about, but we're gonna get into the details. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's two kinds of fighting. So you got your fighting with rules in the ring, with rules, like I said, and then you got your fighting in real life, street fighting. So what I'm doing is, and what I more focused on is fighting in real life on the streets. But I also, of course, want to be able to learn how to fight with rules in the ring. But and I'm more concerned about fighting and self-defense in reality in the streets. So this is Master Boy Garcia right here, teaching some basic knife self-defense, just in case you get into that kind of position in real life. And let me show you guys a little bit about how to uh, self-defense, how to protect yourself from, if ever somebody is trying to grab you or grapple you, you know what I mean, in the streets in real life. All right, so check it out. Just a little basic stuff right here, man, about Filipino martial arts. What would you do in a situation on the streets when a jiu-jitsu grappler or a wrestler trying to wrestle you right here on the streets? Like, how would you even defend that in real life? Not in a ring, but in real life. So, for example, GM, I am a professional jiu-jitsu fighter, but I'm not gonna fight you regular striking because I know you're a striker. How would I? How would you defend yourself if I'm trying to shoot a double leg takedown or a single leg takedown? Like
Like for example, nakapasok ka rito,
for example,
shoot mo ako rito from here,
yeah.
pwede hukayin mo yung mata. Hukayin mo yung mata. Ito no. Kasi wala naman rules eh.
Okay, so
Kunwari naman,
there's no rules. Oh, double
Kunwari
leg.
naman, dito naman nakapasok, dito naman sa
Oh.
shoot mo ko, kunwari dito nakapasok, dito rin oh. Dito nakapasok. Tapos balls mo. Balls na kagad. Pwede na to. Boom. Boom. Pwede na yan. Or shoot mo to. Hukayin mo yung mata. That's the best defensive.
Yeah. So, like you said, in the streets, what he's trying to say is, the illegal stuff, you can hit the back of the neck, trying to take the skull off from the spine, and eye gouging, digging for his eyeballs, and
Or
also
this
the
one, or this one, you can use this.
There you go.
Boom.
The
This
thumb.
one, oh, the thumb.
Yeah, the thumb is pretty strong. It's strong enough to
The eye.
discombobulate your eye and your brain, of course, for a little bit.
Mm.
That should help you protect yourself from a takedown.
Yep.
You know, sprawl also, diba?
Yeah, yes. Pero pag sa ring, sa UFC, bawal yan kasi may
Yeah.
rules.
Not for the.
If it's in the street, there's no rules, hindi pwede yung jiu-jitsu.
Yes, yes. So this is street stuff. This is not for the ring. This is reality stuff. So we're gonna show you guys a lot more. So question, pare. What if I'm not trying to do the hard work, but I still want to be gangster. I still want to be tough, without really actually being real hard and being real tough. Like I just want to be tough and supposedly I'm hard and shit and act hard. What if I just want to do that instead? Because I'm not trying to do push-ups. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do the hard work. What if, you know what I mean? You buy yourself a gun, bro. Like I said, man, you know, guns are, you know, how much are guns and shit, man? And how much are knives, you know? How much are weapons, you know what I mean? So you just do that instead. But if you don't want to do that, because not at all times you're going to be able to get a hold of a gun, get a hold of a weapon, then this is what you do. This is how you become a real motherfucking G and shit. Because then, you know what I mean? Because eventually you're going to act hard on the streets thinking you're a gangster in your head and shit. And then somehow you're going to get caught because you're not really a professional criminal like that. And then somehow you're going to go do time and shit. And the West Coast, there's, you know, you got to be a man now. You got to be a gangster now. So you're going to end up being a peseta, PC. You're going to, you know, be scared for your life. You're not trying to fight because it hurts. So when you do that, then what's the point? You become a PC, and then when you get out on the streets, you act hard again and shit, and you know, try to act like you're not a PC and shit, you're not a dropout. It's all bullshit, bro. So just might as well just don't skip the fucking hard work. Be a real man and shit, man, and just like, you know what I mean? Fuck that gun bullshit, bro. It's gay shit, bro. Super gay, homie. Learn how to be a fucking man. Be honorable.
Para to sa
Stay
mga
humble.
pare